What's happening, people? This is the Lion's Roar vlog. We are on Genesis chapter 3. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Chapter 1, chapter 2 are posted. Very good. Go listen to them. I'm going to try and get a little bit more through these things a little faster. It's some of this stuff, the commentary, man, we going to have to talk about it, y'all. That's why YouTube is so cool, because they actually like long form video over here, and people sit around, they stick around, and they're used to it. So yeah, I'm not going to rush too much, but I want to definitely get you through this information faster and get to these words and not leave my own commentary. So let's go ahead and jump into it. But like I said, y'all, it's going to be some times where I leave my commentary. Just follow, stay on point with me. Maybe if you want to crack open the scriptures and read with me, I am reading from out of a New Revised Standard. Hit that subscription button. Hit that notification button. Share this with somebody, please. If you feel some type of way about me, you think I'm ugly, you think my beard should connect better, if you think I shouldn't be wearing a hat, if you think that I'm too dark to be on video, leave a comment. If you hate my guts, leave a comment. If you think I'm the best thing since sliced bread, leave a comment. You got a question, leave a comment. Let's have some dialogue. Let's figure some things out, man. But I want to ask you to be respectful, because I'm telling you right now, I'll boot you. You come in with that disrespectful stuff. I cannot stand that rude, disrespectful, ratchet. I will boot you. All right, without further ado, Genesis chapter 3. Now the serpent was more crafty than any other wild animal that the Most High God had made. He said to the woman, did God say? Now, why he go to the woman first? Because the serpent had been around. The serpent was around before the man was. The serpent was crafty. Now, let's look at a serpent today. Because if this serpent was crafty, or if this snake was crafty, then, like the literal physical, why these snakes ain't more crafty today? They ain't. They're easy to catch. Now, they're quick and they're a little cunning, but they're easy to catch and kill. They do it all the time, especially they're a highly invasive species also. So what made this being so crafty? Why did it go to the woman first and not the man? Why did it go to the woman first and not the man? When we get to dealing with the serpent a little bit later, and when we start dealing with certain references to this time, because there's certain prophets and there's certain writings, as we gonna come across, that make reference to that quote unquote serpent, and the fact that it wanted to be like the Most High God. It wanted to be like God. I don't see a literal physical snake that's on earth right now crawling like, it's not making any sense. It just don't make sense. So I'm just being real with you. We know that men love to, especially the Roman Catholics, they were highly with that image. They are about image. Man, look, even if the image, they produce an image and that image is like more impactful to them than the words are, I believe they're going to use the image to go back and reconfigure the words. Like, oh, this is great. Let's make this happen. So we got to be careful with some of this, man. How was it talking to this woman? What did it do to this woman? And why was the curses delved out the way they were delved out? See, you have to pay attention to how the curses came down the pipeline. The curses came down the pipeline very specific. And it wasn't because the serpent tricked the woman and because that's why. Oh, no. I think it was something way more deeper than that. And we're going to get into what I think, but then we're going to read the scripture too. But again, it don't change that you need to be a higher moral, spiritually conscious of the higher spirit, the Holy Spirit, and get to the morality and be loving, have them fruits of the spirit, and you love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, mercy, faithfulness, self-control, giving, all those things. It don't change none of that. Whatever we talk about here, whatever we theorize, it don't change the fact that you need to step your game up whenever you low vibing. I'm just saying. So the serpent was more crafty than any other wild animal that the Most High had made. He said to the woman, did God say, or did he say, you shall not eat from any tree in the garden? The woman said to the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees in the garden, but the Most High said, you shall not eat of the fruit of the tree that is in the middle of the garden, nor shall you touch it, or you shall die. But the serpent said to the woman, I believe we're dealing with a metaphor here. I believe just like Mother Goose or like, parables. But the serpent said to the woman, I'm going to tell you what I think happened after this. It makes sense to me, and then we're going to keep it moving. I love these scriptures, so I'm not trying to change them or nothing. I can't do that. And if I was on that, I wouldn't be. Hey, listen, man, they the ones who changed the image of the Most High of Yeshua. They're going to have the answer for that, by the way. The scriptures say they're going to have the answer for it. I ain't do it. They did that. I ain't do it. I ain't the one like, hey, man, we about to rewrite this because this is what I say. Man, forget what Moses wrote. Nah. I just think that the English wasn't telling people the truth fully. I think that they wrote things in a way that is like designed for you to understand that you need to decipher what they're saying. Break them words down a little bit more. Go ahead and get to that wisdom and the clarification of what the metaphor is, or what the parable is, or what the fable is. All right, so let me keep reading. But the serpent said to the woman, you will not die, for the Most High knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened and you will be like him, knowing good and evil. Like, the serpent been around, but the serpent was around even before the first man was. Why didn't he go to the man? I think it was because of the molecular makeup of the woman, and that's what makes me think that it wasn't a literal physical thing at that point, because if it was, the female and the serpent physically would have been totally different from each other. So I believe they were of sort of kindred, but not fully, because they were different species. Then that would mean, like what I said, you should go back and watch my first 2 chapters. That would mean that more than likely, when this happens, they were aquatic beings. Like what I said. That's just my theory. Here we are still looking like how we look, so. But again, you must understand, you are in an atmosphere. You are in water. You are in water. You are in water. It's just different. It's a different molecular makeup than the literal physical wet water of the ocean that you can go jump into. But you're definitely in water. You're walking around in it. Sure are. Your body is encapsulated in what they say, 70 to 80% water. Why you need that much water up in you? Because your real beinghood can't live without water. What does that say? Well, it started in water. Before you are born into this world, listen, our beautiful, precious women on the planet, they give you water. You in that thing, man, you in that thing living for 9 months and you can't breathe in there. Ain't no tube in the mouth. You in that boy. Growing like you would have grown in real water when you were first made. That's just me, but let's go ahead and let's dig into this now, because this one about to get interesting. Okay? He said, so you will be like him, knowing good and evil. This serpent. Now, what's the deal with it being a serpent? Well, because the English, remember this is the English translation now, y'all. Now, Moses wrote this thing. The Hebrews penned it. They own it. But this is an English translation. So then the snake, or the being, the trickster or the liar or the deceiver, if you will, then the English related it to a snake. Oh, that's a snake in the ground. That's a come. And then what they do, they take the image of the apple on the tree, and then you got the caucus man and the caucus woman, because I don't even want to say the full word because I don't want my videos flagged. But you got them walking around. I'm talking about the pictures now, and you got them walking around and they looking like, and that ain't how the first humans look anyway. But you got them walking around looking like. You got the picture of the tree. Get this, y'all. This is what I'm saying about these English and the Roman Catholics with them in the image and all that. You got this picture of the tree. You got the apple on the tree. You got the snake crawling on the. yo. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. This junk. You got the snake on the. Because even from a kid, I used to be looking like, I don't know, man. You got the snake on the branch hanging off, and the woman's there, and the man's kind of like off in the distance, admiring things. I'm like, come on, bro. No, man. The reason why they referred to that being that was the deceiver as the snake was because it was a deceiver. It was because snakes like to hide and they camouflage and they will trick you, the trickster. But we also have to deal with the fact of this, y'all. We also have to deal with the fact of this. Some of the human biology, listen really deep to what I'm about to say is deep. And y'all know I love science, so we have to deal with this. At least I'm going to say this. Some of the human biology has, okay, for instance, the eye, the mucous membrane of the snake, the fish, they're kindred. Guess who else? Guess what beings have that same membrane, the same type? If you listen, science says we got our eyes got borrowed from the aquatics. Now, the snake eye is very interesting because it has covers like it has two different eyelids, and most of them. And they have covers like what water species that have evolved from water, like what they have. Okay? So, you may say, hey, well, where did that come from? That's where the snake was probably before everything was all physically on the earth. It was with all these different tentacles off of it. That's science. That's science. That is science. Again, the Most High is getting the higher nod over the science every day with me. So that is science. If you know your science, you know your science. I'm not trying to be weird. We're being fat. We're kicking that real, bro. We gonna deal with it for what it is, yo. For real, for real. So the thing is, think about this now. If they knew that it was in a different state and they changed y'all know the they, okay? They, the ones who be tripping, okay? The ones who be tinkering and changing and trying to confuse you and switching stuff and sitting back watching you have debates knowing that they know the truth, and they sit back and just watch it and don't say nothing, don't give nobody the truth or nothing. Just got the whole world just trying to look for the truth blind. That's why you got to go to the Spirit of the Most High. That's what 1 John says. Hey, man, come to me, I'll teach you, because they ain't talking about nothing. That's what it says. So if it's in a different state, And I'm telling you, already via science, our eye evolved from that sort of an eye, the fish eye. Yup, sure did. Sure did. The cat eye is different. You understand? The insect eye is different. Okay? Some of these species, other mammal species on the planet, their eyes are different. Some of these other amphibians, their eyes are very different because they spent way more time in the water than everything else. Then they came out. Here's the other reason why you got to know what I'm talking about. It has some definitely validity to it. Because there were species that came out of the water like after humans had been definitely like societies of humans have been here. There's still new species coming out of the water. Yeah, I mean, what, man? So let's just say, well, let me read, and then I'm gonna jump back into that whole thing because I'm not gonna lose my point because that's how I feel overall, and it's interesting. So let's read a little bit more. He says, so when the woman saw that the tree was good, so he didn't trick the woman and said, oh no, you will not die. Because he knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be open and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Or you will be, there's a footnote here that says, let's see, J. Or it said, ooh. I don't mean to sound like no monkey right there. Ooh. Look, man, check this out, dog. Check out this side note here. Ooh, check out this footnote. Check out this footnote. Because there's a chapter in Psalms chapter 82 or 83 or 84, somewhere up in there, where the hand of King David is talking about, he's imploring the Most High, saying, why are we going through this stuff? If what you say about us is true, you said we're like the gods on the earth? We're little gods on the earth. We're like you. Why are you allowing this to happen? This is in the scriptures, y'all. I'm going to read it. So that's why you should stick around this vlog. We're going to get into that. Check this out, this footnote right here. What the serpent is saying. Check this out. This is why we have to study, to show ourselves approved and ready for the information so we could go ahead and get to what we have to get to. He says, for the Most High God, or he knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened. And it doesn't say you will be like God. This footnote says you will be gods, plural. But now, here's the thing. The serpent, quote unquote, this being talking, guess what? Spoiler alert, the spirit of the Most High says it themselves, y'all. I'm going to read it here soon. It literally says they can be like us. And like I said in a previous video, it wasn't time yet, yo. It wasn't time. But what vested interest did the serpent have, or did that being have in trying to trick the woman? What is the difference in the woman and the man here at this point as to why it went to the woman? It wasn't because it just wanted to see the humans fall. It went to the woman because it wanted to multiply itself, and it knew that it could with her. That's what I believe. And that's why I believe they were in a different state than the literal physical human being, because the water beings, all one of those beings has to do, the male, is attach a certain tentacle to the female, and that female will have, he leaving his eggs. And so the knowledge of the wisdom of good and evil and all that is like disobeying. Hey, yeah, he said you couldn't do this, but you actually can. See, watch, let me show you something. Now, we don't have the full everything here, even though we have this to be written enough to have something. Moses wrote it down. Masha wrote it down for it to mean something. Now, did them English switch it? They could have. But the reality is here. It's here. And it's right there. And it makes a lot of sense that that being went to the woman first to try to do something that it knew it could do because it had already been around. Right? Okay, well, I'm just keep reading because I know like sometimes people be like, what? I don't know if this is right. Can I keep listening to this? I feel like I have to turn this off and go pray because this doesn't sound like God. But hold on. First thing first. I am not debunking anything, and nor am I saying, oh, how I say it is how it happened. I just like to understand that they be lying sometimes when it comes. Them who translated this, they who think that they have the final say as it comes to this, and they really don't. They be lying. They be deceiving. They always be changing images and things. Look what they did to the image of the Messiah. We know that wasn't what he looked like. But then what they say, oh, it doesn't matter what color he was as long as his blood was red. No, it does matter because you lied. Well, all of a sudden it don't matter because you lied. Get out of here with that. We know you lied. We know you tricked. We know you flipped. We know you confused them people. So why it don't matter for real, for real? That don't even make no sense. It makes sense to them because it's beneficial for them. So check this. He says, you will be like God, knowing good and evil. So when the woman saw that the tree was good for food and that it was a delight to the eyes and that the tree was to be desired to make one wise, she took of its fruit and ate, and she also gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate. Now, this is what I think. Number one, fruit here. Fruit can be regarded to a few different things also, just like earth can. Earth can be regarded to a human. Earth can be regarded to the literal earth. Earth can be like the literal physical earth that you walk on. Earth is the name of what the humans have named the globe. Okay? So that's the first thing. So fruit can be literal fruit. Fruit could be a spiritual fruit. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, mercy, faithfulness, self-control, giving, all those good things. The fruit of your loins. I was about to say fruit of your loom. The fruit of your loins. The fruit of your looms. Nah, but for real. Your jaws. Like, nah. The fruit of your loins. The fruit of your loins, right? What's the fruit of your loins? Your children. Fruit. So then what is fruit then? Production. Here's another one. Fruit of your labor. Fruit of your obedience. Fruit of your consistency. So right there, we have multiple things that we could be dealing with fruit. Period. 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 So you think it's that literal physical apple that did it? Or you think it was a literal physical fruit? Or you think it was as small and trivial as like when we tell a young child, don't touch that, and they literally go touch it, you think that's what it was? It was that trivial? No way. Sorry, y'all, but no way. That's just me personally. But again, check this out. I always pray before I do these, and the Spirit ain't gonna let me say nothing that's gonna be offensive in this boy. So some people may used to find like the certain energy that I used to present in was offensive, but the spirit wouldn't let me say nothing offensive. Now the spirit would let me say things that some people who didn't like to be held accountable may feel some type of way about. That's on them. It ain't got nothing to do with me. But they be wanting me to shut up. I don't care, dog. Like that's a wrong thing with me to do. Like you might as well just forget about that, bro. I'll give it to you if I'll give it to some people, but I ain't gonna give it to you. Good luck trying to get me to be quiet. So only the spirit of the Most High can do it. And I'm learning self-control, so I'm getting better with it too. But I'm just saying. I just find it, I don't think it was literal physical fruit. That's what I'm saying. Here's another thing, y'all. The tree. Let's talk about a tree. Where's another place that we deal with a tree and it's not a literal tree? Because that term tree, just like fruit, just like earth, has multiple different relate points. We can relate this thing to some different things. That term tree not only means a physical, literal tree from growing out the ground. Guess where else we use trees at? Numbers, words, at school, a tree. What is a tree then? It's dealing with organization of something. It's something that has its main part, other parts coming off, and it's all part of the same thing. We're calling it a tree. Again, a number tree. Look, number tree. What's our number tree? We're going to go 24. We're going to make two different lines. We got, let's see, we got 12, 2, 8, 3, and we make the tree. And what happens? You break down all the information from that point information up at the top, and then we break it down and we get to the roots and we have all of it, right? A word tree is the same way. So it says the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The tree of the tree of life. There was two. The tree of life and then the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. I'm going to tell you right now, let's just be 100. I'm telling you, look, look, the spirit in me, Most High, what I'm about to say. If I ain't supposed to say it, don't let me say it. There is no way that the Most High was going to leave something that potent and serious physically there. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because, listen, it just don't make sense, y'all. Think about it. Even a parent, if they're trying to teach their child how to have more discipline and be better with something, and that child struggles with a particular thing, or the main thing that they don't want the kid to do, they're not going to set the kid up and put them in a situation where the temptation is going to be right there in front of their face, at least in the beginning. Maybe at some point to test and see, now is they going to do the right thing? Let me see. They're going to go ahead and push it in front of them then and see what's going to happen. But they're not going to do it. Listen, y'all know what I'm saying. And we just only humans, y'all. We ain't the Most High. Now, we could be like him. As you see, all these things is talking about humans being like God. We ain't even through with chapter 3 yet. We're not even through with chapter 3 yet, and it's already all this talk about humans and God and being like God and all this different stuff. So it don't make sense for a parent to do that, right? It's like you definitely setting that child up for failure. First, why you have to teach the child ABC, 1, 2, 3. This is how it works, y'all. You have to consistently keep teaching them. That requires consistency. That requires you dealing with that junk when you don't even want to. That requires you keeping a level head, understanding they are new to the earth, and you're not, And you better keep your junk balanced and teach them the proper way. Because you're going to be the reason why if they don't get it, it's your fault. Period. End of story. There is, man, listen, man, I be having to be careful because, you know, America, boy, they don't like accountability. I'm telling you right now, bro, there's so many people running around this planet trying to figure out what's wrong with their kids. You. Stop talking about trying to figure out what's wrong with them. Go look in that mirror, bro. Go look in that mirror, sis. Stop playing, man. So, like what I'm saying right here, why would the Most High, think about it, a human parent wouldn't even do it. A human parent would take a different approach with this, right? So why would the Most High, now he warned them, just like a human parent would. For instance, a human parent teaches their kid, hey, what's something? Let's just hypothetical. Let's just say you have parents that drink wine. And let's just say like they have their wine separate from all the rest of the stuff because they don't want the kids to be exposed to that yet, whatever. So they have their wine in a mini fridge in their room somewhere else. And the kid don't never even see nothing, really know about it until later, until when? Even though the kid ain't never seen a bottle of wine, they don't know what it is for real, but that parent would do well to teach the kid about things like that. Because what if the kid could be somewhere and get exposed to it? They have to be knowledgeable, right? Because it's something that could be a thing. So they're not going to say, okay, hey, you tell the kid about the wine, this, that, and the third. What sense would it make to do that and then take a bottle of wine that is an open, uncorked bottle of wine and just leave it right there, leave it by where the kids got access to it? When they are not understanding of what it is, when they have not shown that, hey, I have the discipline to not touch this thing. Why would the parent do it? You can't do that. Your kid is going to experiment at some point. They're going to do it. It's not even no ifs, ands, or buts. And the parent knows it. That's why they would take a different approach to teaching. So why would the Most High take a literal, physical tree of something that's so potent like immortality and the knowledge of good and evil to those early humans and plop it right in the middle of where they were and tell them, hey, you can have all this, but don't touch that? Honestly, that don't even sound right to me. It just don't even sound right. It don't make sense. A lot of people could say, well, who are you to question that? Because maybe he was just really trying to test them. No, come on, bro. Like that's nah. Nope. Eventually it would have tested them because it did let them, remember, it let them know that it was there. It let them know that it's a possibility, but I don't think it was literally physically there. Like what I just said about the parent who would have the bottle of wine. They know it's there. They know where it is. They kid may be like, mama, what do wine look like? What is it? Don't even worry about that. I'm just telling you that it's for adults and you have to wait until you are grown and older and at least 21 years old in this country to even enjoy it. But I just want to let you know, if you ever somewhere and somebody be like, hey, you want to try this, try that, you ain't supposed to. But that parent got some because they understand how to interact with it, with the self-control, and it's here somewhere. The kid don't know, but they know about it, right? Yeah, exactly. So who is these people that want to just keep on sitting up talking about, I don't think you should be saying that. Please, bro. I'm just theorizing right now too, so it's all good. Let's get back to the real writings and what it says right here. I know that's a lot of discourse in between the words, but this is deep right here because we cannot present this chapter right here and not deal with the fact that we could literally be dealing with them in a different state. And that's why the Quran deals with them in a different, literally not even on the earth. But remember, the Quran has the Torah because of Ishmael, Abraham's first son. He was Hebrew. They followed that way until Muhammad enters. And then when Muhammad enters and he starts his stuff, then the next thing you know, they deviate from the Hebrew way. That's it. That's how it happened. And then you also have the Roman Catholics mixed up in their thing too, just like with this. Why were the Roman Catholics mixed up in theirs and this? Because both of them have the same root, y'all. And they know about this promise, these people, these beings who have this special energy, this special DNA, this special spirit, God's chosen. They know. So when a woman saw that the tree was good for food, wisdom is good for food, numbers are good for food, words are good for food, feeding your mind, right? Don't you feed your mind? You see what I'm saying? Now it's kind of like, hey, you got to look at some of this stuff I'm talking about. I'm just saying. It does not change the fact that you need to be in proper alignment with your Savior. It does not change the fact that you need to be in proper alignment with the morality of what the Spirit calls for you to be one of His. Okay, that it was a delight to the eyes, or that it was pleasurable. There was pleasurable, and that the tree was to be desired to make one wise. She took of its fruit and ate, and she also gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate. I believe the fruit that was the wisdom. I believe it was a wisdom of things that she didn't know about. And I believe that serpent taught her an interaction that she didn't know. That's why when she went back to her husband and quote unquote gave him some of the fruit too, he saw that it was good also. The serpent tricked the woman. And then she went and showed the man, hey, look, you and the serpent kind of are like, he's a male and you're a male, so quote unquote. Or he kind of has this and you have that. Remember, he was trying to figure out what that is. Look, let me show you. And then who knows what happened, right? Because maybe they weren't supposed to know about how they were to create more yet. Again, like what I said, the wisdom of the knowledge of life and all that, or the knowledge of good and evil even. See, okay, look, let me ask you this too. Check this out. So if these trees are right there, you have the knowledge of good and evil. What's to stop them from getting to the tree of life? They couldn't get to the tree of life. It wasn't right there. Just like that one wasn't. Because I don't think it was a literal physical tree. That's just me personally. It was something different. It represents something different, but it means what it means, and this was the fall. This was the issue. I already said they weren't speaking literal English words. There were more so vibrations, more than likely. If you ever watched, I think it's The Abyss. It's The Abyss. If you ever watch The Abyss, and even if you ever watch, if you ever watch The Abyss, the beings, these alien beings that were deep in the water with all these lights on, they were massive. They communicated with lights and vibrations, and they were communicating, right? One of the ways, and I think it's deep in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. One of the ways that they were communicating, that they were trying to communicate, because they're like, hey, we don't know how these beings will communicate, so let's use the sound because it's a vibration. Boom, 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 boom. Dum, 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 dum. Remember, they was trying to figure out like the tune of what can we do to try to communicate with these things, like, because we don't know. And if somebody had to tell that story to somebody who didn't understand, they would have to do what? Metaphorically tell you, so you could break it down and be able to say, oh, okay, this is like what happened, like what we're reading here. So it makes perfect sense that he went to the woman, the serpent, the being that was already there, showed the woman something that she wasn't supposed to know. She then went to her husband and showed him. And then he knew. But why didn't he stop her? Let's keep going. But again, why didn't they reach out and take from the tree of life too? Why did the serpent reach out and take from the tree of life? What stopped the serpent from being immortal, living forever? Because there's going to be a point where the Most High, the Spirit's going to say something here in a little bit. Why didn't they reach out and take the other one, but they took that one? But they ain't take the other one? It just don't even make no sense for real. If you think about it. They couldn't. Now, here's the thing, what I believe. What I believe is if they had figured out a particular height of that wisdom at that state, because of for whatever they got exposed to, probably made them realize they could once they realized they could do more, they probably had already started figuring out like, man, we could probably do more than this. And they would have been pressing to figure that out. And maybe things could have been really imbalanced in that particular ecosystem that they were in, or biosystem that they were in, or however you want to say it, biology, whatever. Wherever they were, they couldn't be allowed to get to that level. So that's when then the Spirit says, hey, they got to get out of here. They got to go. We can't let them keep being in this state because we can't let them move forward from getting more than what they've already gotten before it was time from this state, because it'll be worse. They have to go now. They don't get to be taught anymore. They don't get to be led to the truth anymore, because the serpent came through and tricked and literally did something before it was ever supposed to happen. And I believe personally that serpent imprinted on that woman to multiply himself. But what happened is, because they're so different as beings, it didn't work. And maybe only some of the parts of the serpent, like the electrical impulses, and like I said earlier, maybe that eye. Because the eye is the only thing on any bodies that is attached to the brain. That's the deep part right there. Your eyes are not part of your physical outside shell. They're part of your brain. They're part of your real being. That brain and that nervous system and that spine, or the spinal column, not the bones, that's your real beinghood. Not your outer. That's how come the scriptures say, man, look at the outside, Most High look at the inside, the heart. You viewing the wrong thing, bro. You need to get to it for real. What's them impulses talking about? The impulses. What did I just say? Impulses. So I believe that's what the serpent wrote onto the woman when he mated with her. That's what I believe. I believe they mated. And they was just in a different state. They couldn't have made it in a physical state. Think about it. We just broke all this stuff down real good right here. Like, it's going to make you think like, dang, this is deep stuff right here. And then furthermore, that's how you can, I know this one been a little bit longer, but bear with me. That's how you can, that's how we can look and see. So maybe that's why every human born after that has that mark of sin, because the impulse was there, and also because the impulse, the molecular, that would be molecular. Even though it's inside the being happening, it's still molecular in nature, which you're a billion of molecules in nature. So it's not far-fetched. So that's why the female has a really hard time with accountability and doing the right thing. And they just so quick to ignore what's really jacked up and ratchet. I've always asked myself about women with this. And I know I know with women who watch this video, y'all be getting way defensive about this type of stuff, but whatever, I don't care. Like I said, I'm going to say what needs to be said. said. It is crazy to me that I watch so many women who can have children, who raise children, which means that they understand the social, which means that they understand so much more about a human. It is crazy to me that these women will literally fall in love with killers. They will fall in love with men who are destroying the communities. They will fall in love with some of the most low-vibing, evil, decrepit, dumb, airhead men on earth. And I always wonder, how can a being that brings humans to the earth be so negligent and ignorant towards what these humans are doing? That doesn't make any sense to me. It has never made sense to me. But when you deal with this right here, she has the molecular signals of that lying, decrepit serpent in her. That's why the man is weak for her. Ooh, they don't like that, but it is what it is. But see, here's the thing about that. Now, a lot of people would say, and I'm not the one who says, oh, woman, it's your fault that we failed. No, it's not. It's the serpent's fault, and the beings at the beginning should have been obedient together. I'm gonna tell you this: when she went to that man, before she would have had to say something first. He also had a chance. So the serpent who knew went to the one who he knew he was going to try to multiply with, and he tricked her. Then she went to the one she had and tricked him. Why? Because the serpent taught her. She was the first being who did it. Deception. She's the first one who was new that deceived. Man was the first one that murdered. Not the last, but the first. So that's why men are always running around with their guns, trying to prove points by killing, with their missiles, trying to force countries to do whatever they want them to do. That's the man. The woman, deceptive, highly manipulative, highly, and very ignorant, hates accountability. Men will feign accountability. They will faux accountability. They will fake accountability. They'll fake act like they're okay. The woman, she can't stand it. She not even gonna listen, let you hold her accountable. Let you know, man, let you hold that woman accountable, bro. She's not taking it in front of your face. A man halfway will. If he's a feminine woman, nope. He gonna do the same thing that a woman do. Sorry, I just gotta say it for what it is. It's truth. You don't have to like it. I understand. That's a lot of people gonna shut the video off now, especially women. They go, oh, he's misogynistic. No, I'm not. I'm telling the truth. It's true. Look at it. It's right here. Now, here's the thing. The serpent is the one that really gets the worst of all the curses. We're gonna get to that in a second. So let me keep reading. So she took of its fruit, or she proverbially ate of the wisdom. And she went to him and said, hey, look, remember that he said that this would happen? Well, look what the serpent showed me. Look at this, look at this, look at that. Hey, I found out about that. Hey, I found out about that. The animals do this. And look, we can do this. And then boom, she does something. Once they do it, now all of a sudden, there's a whole nother different energy. It's a whole nother different thing going on now. Now they have been exposed to something that they were not ready for, so they've changed. They've changed. That's just like if you get access to a piece of wisdom or information now that's life changing. It's gonna change your life. It's gonna change your life, right? It's gonna change your state. Your state of being is gonna change. Even if you're not in a physical state, your mind is gonna change. You're gonna change clothes. you're gonna know that you were in one state and now you're in a different one. Then the eyes of both were opened, and they knew that they were naked, or they knew that they didn't have that, or they knew that they didn't have a body. But check this out. What if that naked meant that the serpent told them eventually you're going to have a body? And they didn't know that. So when he told them, like, you know, you're in a different state than what you're going to be in. And then now they know, like, oh, wait a minute, we need to be trying to hide ourselves. And so what does it say? It says they sewed fig leaves together and made loincloths for themselves. Now, again, we're still dealing with the image, because this image right here, man, I know it's been 50 minutes and we only on verse 8. I might have to part 2 this one, y'all. You know what? I'm going to hurry up and fly through this real fast. Then I'm going to leave my little final thoughts. They heard the sound of the Most High. And listen, I know this is about to be like crazy. How I've already broken this thing down and walked through it with y'all. I kind of need to keep going with it like that. Man, but the Spirit, I feel the Spirit saying to just read through. That's what I feel pressed on. I'm going to just read through. They heard the sound of the Most High God walking in the garden at the time of the evening breeze, or he was moving around them, moving around them, or wasn't even physically there. Who knows? But they knew the Spirit was round. It was time. It was coming. I believe it was physically there, though. I believe it was physically there. They heard the sound of the Most High walking in the garden, or that the Most High, that God was there, walking in the garden at the time of the evening breeze, and the man and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Most High among the trees of the garden. By the way, the water definitely has trees and bushes and things, so that's another thing to think about too. But the Most High, I'm just saying, but the Most High, because Garden of Eden could have been the first garden where they were, and you have aquatic gardens also, sure do. Okay, so, but the Most High said, called to the man and said, hey, where are you? He called to the man and said, where are you? He said, I hear the sound of you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked and I hid myself. He said, who told you that you were naked? Who told you you ain't have a body? Who told you you ain't have a covering? Have you eaten from the tree of which I commanded you not to eat? Did you find out that information I told you not to know? Ooh. The man said, the woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me the fruit from the tree, and I ate. Then the Most High said to the woman, what is it that you have done? The woman said, the serpent tricked me, and I ate. The Most High said to the serpent, because you have done this, cursed of you are amongst all the animals, or all the beings. Because a man is technically called an animal also. Understand, a human being is a mammal, which is AKA animal. We are the most complex ones on the planet, but we sure are. So, cursed of you amongst all the beings, and among all the wild creatures, upon your belly shall you go, and dust you shall eat all the days of your life. On the belly you shall go. Now, you could, if you've been paying attention over the last few videos, you could look like what I've been saying, that they gonna come out the water. He just got told, boy, you losing all your tentacles. And when you get up out of here, you gonna have your stem, and that's gonna be it, and you're gonna be crawling on that low vibing, dirty ground, you conniving, lying being. Remember, they weren't talking literal English. These would have been impulses. The octopus can read the human. Do you know that they say that the octopus can read the human? The octopus can read your. They are starting to do studies and understand that the octopus can telepathy. They can get your brain frequency and understand it. Oh yeah. So, right. Okay. So how is it so far-fetched what I'm saying? It's not. But this is just my theory. I'm not saying that this is what it is or what God should have did. No, I'm just saying in general, like, hey, man, we got to look at this thing because we know they be lying and the pictures be lying. They be tricking them pictures and stuff. So, upon your belly shall you go out of here, meaning you were supposed to had all this, probably wings and who knows. You about to be on your belly. You were supposed to be one of the highest. And now you're going to be crawling around on the dust. And what does he say? All the days of your life. So that's the continuation of your beinghood. I will put enmity between you and the woman. Division. Why would he put an enmity between you and the woman? He's talking to the serpent. He's not talking to the first man. I will put a division between you and the woman. I will put a division between you and the woman. Why? Because that being thought that the woman belonged to him at that point. He made it with her first before the being that was made for her to do it did, in a different state. And because they were different beings, the DNA and the molecular was only just going to stop at a certain point. Those are facts. Because even in science, like I always say, I'm a science guy. When they get to splicing and things, when they take two molecules of an animal and they start like trying to make a new species or whatever it is they're trying to study or do, there's only so much into that DNA that got introduced the other animal. There's only so much that it's gonna go and it's just gonna stop. So it might change something. It might not even be physical. It might change a behavioral pattern. Y'all, come on, man. It might change a behavioral pattern, and you might not even see a physical response. And in some species, you will see a physical response. It might be subtle or it might be great. That's science. So if that's science now, it would definitely could have been there at the beginning too. Duh. That was not for the people who are following. That was for the people who want to sit back just trying to be like, oh my God, it has to literally be a physical garden or you're wrong. Okay, so anyway, I will put division. Why would he say I will put division between you and the woman? Because he connected with that woman. And how was he going to do the division? He says, between your offspring and hers, and between your offspring and hers. Listen, between your offspring and hers. Between your offspring and hers. Why is he addressing the woman, talking about the offspring, but the offspring really the seed comes down from the man. Yes, she passes it into life, but the literal seed of offspring comes from the man, and we need the egg from the woman to be fertilized by that seed. And she grows it. It's a mutual process. But why is there a division between the woman's seed and the serpent seed? Because I believe some of them beings that was going to come out of her was going to molecularly, even though it was going to physically look like a human, on a certain molecular level on the inside, it had the thinking of that serpent to destruct or to go away from the way that it was supposed to. That's why Cain killed Abel, because that thing that wants to deviate was there, and they didn't even have to this is why. So because of the mark that was left on the woman by the serpent, every human being born from there has the mark of sin and that serpent's foolishness, because literally We are still the continuation of them humans, even with the flood in the middle. Because they could have got rid of all the humans at the flood and restarted everything. And again, they something would have crawled about that water. Oh, I know a lot of people so irritated right now, dog, how I'm presenting this information. Let me keep going. He said, between your offspring and hers, this is just going to be a little bit longer. Oh, it's already over an hour. It's going to be a little bit longer. I know something. If you listened, you had to listen to this in sections. Thank you, y'all. Listen, I've listened to some 3-hour YouTube videos before, so I know y'all, those who really listen, and them things be having like millions of views on this, so that should be crazy. Okay, so I don't feel too bad. Let me hurry up and finish. Between your offspring and hers, that's where the division is going to come in. And he will strike your head, and you will strike his heel. He will strike your head, and you will strike his heel. He will strike your head, and you will strike his heel. Okay? He will strike your head, and you will strike his heel. You know what? He will strike your head, and you will strike his heel. He was talking to the woman. No, he said to the serpent, he said, he will strike your head, and you will strike. He was talking about the man. He was talking about the human. That's what he was talking about. He said, and he is going to be against you. So now let's look. Now let's take this deeper hypothetically. Let's take this deeper. Guess what? This is what it means. Somebody like me, I can't stand evil. I'm always at its neck. I'm always at its head. The serpent represents the division of evil. It represents the division away from, it represents the lying, the deception, the split of being away from what you're supposed to be. So yeah, I'm always at he says, he will strike your head and you will strike his heel. You will strike at his heel. Meaning, physically, he gonna be over you. He gonna be over you. Serpent, you lying, decrepit, evil. So, to the woman, he said, I will greatly increase your pangs in childbearing. In pain, you shall bring forth children. I believe that was because of that being. I believe the human woman was not supposed to have pain. I believe it was because of that being that imprinted on her. And I think that's what the Most High is saying. Like it has to be so now. So this is what's happening. That's why. Because if you look up the snake species, look up the snake species and the eggs and with the laying of the eggs and the blood and all the different things. Just look up the snake species. Just look it up. Look it up. Yet your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you. Your desire shall be for your husband, but he shall rule over you. Why? Okay, now check this. They were equal. At that point, not necessarily equal. Okay, let me say that. Let me. Okay, because we in 2025, and they definitely shut my channel down if they feel like I'm. So, your desire should be for your husband. Okay, meaning you are going to want. You're going to want to be so tight and close with him, but you're going to always feel like he's over me. That's it. And that's probably the problem with modern relationships. That's what it is. That's the Aisha Curry syndrome. That's the Aisha Curry syndrome right there. Her husband makes all this money. He's the best player on the planet right now over the last decade for sure. And she just gotta have more attention no matter what. Why is that? Because generally the woman who feels that in her head And Aisha Curry even said it. He gets all this attention. He has all this stuff. Oh, and all of this, he has all of these fans and these women fans, and I see how they look at him, and oh, and her, and she wants that all to herself. It's Steph, all that. So now she struggles because she not getting the same thing he getting. So now it's over here trying to get some attention from some other man. Because, well, I can't live up to that. I can't be there with him. I don't know how to be there like on that level, so I'm gonna be over here. That's the issue with modern relationships right there. Desire for the husband, but he's over you. You got an issue with that. So now you ain't connected with your man, right? And now you gonna go jump to 5,000, 500 or 50 or 5 or however many, because you know they be going. You gonna go do whatever, and you understand what I'm saying? Because because it ain't that, because you can't deal with him being over you like that. That's what it's saying. And to the man he said, okay, there's a side note here, there's a footnote, or to Adam. Okay. There is Eve coming up, so let's keep. Let me hurry up. And to the man he said, because you have listened to the voice of your wife and have eaten of the tree which I commanded you, or you took of the wisdom that I commanded you not to eat of it, cursed is the ground because of you. In toil you shall eat of it all the days of your life. In other words, where it was originally going to give to you and it was going to be great, and you were not going to have to do no whole bunch of all this 40 hours a week, having to keep up with all this 401, all that. It wasn't even going to be none of that. It was going to be straight up paradise on this boy from the beginning. And we was going to evolve and create all this technology and all that. And we weren't going to be having to work and do all that weird stuff and be tricking each other for money and lying and all the money and all the war and all that crap, man. Please, bro. So it says, in toil you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for you, and you shall eat the plants of the field, not eating. I put not eating. Not eating. You won't be eating Eden's plants anymore. You won't be getting to that higher wisdom knowledge. By the sweat of your face you shall eat bread until you return to the ground, for out of it you were taken. You are dust, and to the dust you shall return. That dust, water, all of it. Understand that all parts of you go back, even the liquid parts. The man named his wife Eve, or Eve resembles the word for living, okay? Or it also means first woman, okay? Eve resembles the word for living. Sometimes you have words that they took that and EVE was in it, and it just was a longer word, and the English took it and shortened it. That's like what they say with amen, when you say amen at the end of the prayer. But I've done some research, and I've also seen that the Egyptians were saying amen in their prayers, and I don't even think you see that word until after they leave out of Egypt. So, you know, maybe they like to say it was like some word like amen, something. But even the word looks like an Egyptian word. So it's like, yeah, so they still shortened it and said amen. But, you know, whatever. So anyhow, let me hurry up. The man named his wife Eve because she was the mother of all living. So the living. She was the mother of all living. That's like what I said earlier. How do you have these women that are bringing all the humans on the planet, but they will go mate with the serial killer? It doesn't make sense. They're okay with their children being wild little decrepit airhead serial killers like King Von. Like King Von's mom. Okay, first of all, there was all sorts of death around him. Then I believe his daddy or the baby daddy, he died. His daddy died. The granddaddy, all sorts of death around her. Her son is running around doing this. She know what he's doing because trust me, she hears about it. It's just I just don't understand, bro. I don't understand it. Maybe in the comment sections, y'all can tell me why y'all ignore this? Why do y'all ignore this? And y'all literally bear children. Y'all for 9 months have children, and women are some of the, I'm sorry, y'all, I gotta say this. Women are some of the most ignorant, and I don't mean dumb, because some of the smartest beings that I know are women. I'm saying y'all are some of the most ignorant beings on the planet. When it comes to accountability and when it comes to keeping it real about what's going on in your society at large, y'all women, bro, like for instance, this video just gonna be long, whatever. The spirit just be moving. And I'm gonna do chapter 4 because I'm batching these now. So, you know, I'm gonna have these ready to go for over the next 4 days or whatever. It just doesn't, I don't know, man. Like, I don't understand. I just don't understand. I don't understand. Like, I was on a post. This post about King Von popped up because I be on them little Chicago drill rappers, all them little young YN street rappers. I be on them so hard, bro. It's a pause, but I be on they necks. Because I know for a fact they need to hear what I'm saying. Because ain't nobody else saying it to them. Why? Because there's so many people around them appropriating what they do. And here's my issue with you women. You literally are under posts where they are rapping this man's lyrics. And it's the most evil, inhumane crap ever. And all these grown women are under the post talking about how much they love King Von. This man was a decrepit serial killer. And you as a grown woman sitting up bearing children talking about how much you just love King Von. He represents everything wrong with what's going on in our cultures. And y'all be the main ones out crying at the top of your lungs out in the square when your kids end up getting murdered just like what everything that he is. But you just love him so much. That's what's wrong with our society. Nobody wants to hold nobody else accountable. And when you do, let you hold them accountable and they like what they like. They gonna get so irritated. They gonna call you a hater. If I'm a hater for telling you the truth, then what do it make me if I sit back and don't say nothing to you? And listen. Women, let me tell y'all something, because some of them, they done jumped up out of here. They ain't gonna never listen to me again. But the ones who make it here, I'm gonna get on the men's neck so tough on this vlog, it don't even make no sense. Y'all just really only gonna get dealt with probably just about right here. Or when it come down to sexual immorality, because that's another thing with y'all. Y'all got to slow it down, bruh. Self-control is what it's called. But of course, if you ran by your impulses, that's why you are. We just dealt with it over the last hour and 15 minutes. You're going to have you're going to have a harder time getting to it than a man will. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm fully pressed in and I'm good. There ain't no, listen, ain't no woman tricking me no more ever again. Period. But I'm going to tell you this. And me meeting women from a celibate man angle, every woman I meet supposed to be abstinent. And I know it's a lie. Because I always be finding out. And then they always tell me, or they just always they can't keep up with me because I don't want to have no physical sex. And then once they realize that I'm serious, you ain't abstinent, chick, because you already done ghosted me. What you talking about? Stop playing, bro. You just know I'm a good man and you want me to stay around and try to trick me into some junk, don't you? Yeah, that's what you want to do. Hey, man, it just is what it is, bro. Lions roar, okay? So we ain't up on this boy whimpering. So if you feel some type of way, the comment section is open. If you think that I'm a womanist and I'm misogynistic and I can't stand women and I'm just so messed up for what I just said right there and how dare me say what I just said, leave it in the comments. It's all good. Then the Most High God says, see, the man, listen to this now, You know what? I'm gonna have to do a short on this. Ooh, this actually right here. I'm sorry. Oh, and I gotta quiet down, y'all. My bad. Listen to this, y'all, because it's late and I'm okay. Listen to this, y'all. Listen to this. 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 And the Most High God made garments of skins for the man and his wife and clothed them. I don't believe that that was talking about literal physical clothes. I think it literally means that's where they got their skin from, meaning go, you gotta go. Go from here. Because now it's time for you to go forth into that hard world, because you didn't want to do what we was going to have you do. You didn't want to take the time to learn how we was going to teach you. So go. They started getting the skin as they went. We've been dealing with this from a metaphorical angle on purpose, but the scriptures is right here. Listen, I'm not changing that. I'm just saying, hypothetically, we gotta look at this stuff because we know they be flopping the picture. It's made skins for them. Skin. Then the Most High said, see the man, listen now, listen now, listen now. Then the Most High said, the Most High God said, see the man has become like one of us. There's that us again, plural. Knowing good and evil. And now he might reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat of it and live forever. Now, that's like what I said earlier. Why didn't they take it right then and there? Because he said, oh, he may also take of that. Because it wasn't a literal physical tree. It was a pushing into the knowledge of understanding. And if they would have understood a certain thing back then, I don't know what it would have been, what it could have been that would have allowed them to live forever with that division, with the knowledge, but they couldn't live forever with the knowledge. So who knows what it could have been that would have caused them to live forever. But I don't think it was a literal physical fruit, because it was right there with the other one. It was right there. Look, if they messing with that, they gonna mess with the other one too, because them the two right there. If they already got tricked to believe that the one that they took was okay, why would they not take the other one too? Think about it. So the Spirit is saying they might also get to that too, so we can't let them. So here's what has to happen. So maybe it was about the state of being that they were in the location that they were in. If they would have stayed there a little longer, listen, I truly believe, because of science and evolution, if something stays in a certain state longer and learns that state more, let's just say if the octopus evolved and got bones. If the octopus was able to walk around the earth, we are in trouble. If them mugs was able to evolve upon the planet, or they start crossbreeding, like what I think happened with the serpent and Eve, then yeah, I believe, man, if the octopus could have a body and be walking around this boy, that's why it's restricted to the to the water. Because even when it come out the water, that mug still be doing too much. Like it's too smart. For the being that it is in the state that it is, that thing is way too, what the heck, man? Just do a study on the octopus. I love animals. Do a study on the octopus. The octopus is amazing. It's amazing. If the octopus had a body, bro, we would be in trouble. I'm so serious. We would really be in trouble. Especially them giant boys, because they can swallow a car. So, therefore, the Most High God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden, the humans, to till the ground from which he was taken. He drove out the man and the woman. Well, the man, because they're together, right? Because they're the same. They're the same beings. And at the east of the garden of Eden, he placed a cherubim and a sword flaming and turning to guard the way to the tree of life. And that's the end of this chapter. I know that was an hour and 20 minutes. That was a sermon. I just preached a sermon. Now I still got to go and record a whole nother one of these. What time is it? Okay, I just preached a sermon. I'm sorry, y'all, but I couldn't go through this chapter right here and not deal with the true information of it all. It was impossible for me to do it. I couldn't do it. And that's when I say true information, I mean like dealing with the fact of we have to approach some of these things from this angle, because just like different parables, Yahshua spoke in parables. He would tell a story and then give the revelation of it. You know, sometimes some of these would tell the story and they wouldn't get no revelation. It would be centered around something, and they would just tell a story like, hey, ABC 1, 2, 3. And that's it. You can't take that story literal, because then you would have to you would have to theorize around it. If you didn't understand what it was saying, then what would happen? You would go with your buddies, you would go with your homegirls or your family or whoever, teacher, whatever, and you would go try to figure out what they were saying. Let's break this thing down and figure out. That's what just happened right here. Am I saying that that's what happened? No, because it says right here what happened. But I'm just saying that I believe that they didn't necessarily tell us the full about it. And it makes perfect sense when he talks to the serpent and the woman the way that he does with the division thing. He's not talking to the man saying between your seed, her. He's talking to that woman. Again, she's getting the seed of life from the man. She's powerful because she grows the seed and gives it everything that it needs. She's the earth. That's why Adam called her living. Even right there in me saying that, I see the sacredness in it right there. That's why I got at y'all women so tough in this video. Like, what are y'all doing, bro? Y'all are sacred. And you out here with these demons? What are you doing? Step your game up. Y'all tripping, bro. And you letting these decrepit, lying, airhead men lie to you like that serpent. And you fall for it. Hook, line, and sinker all the time. Man, come on, dog. Snap out of it. Y'all are sacred. Y'all, look. We can drop that seed everywhere. And it ain't doing nothing far as it comes from humans unless you are part of it, woman. You're sacred. Look. The men that come onto the planet, you give them their bone structure and hair and eyes and teeth and everything. What are y'all doing? Some of y'all glorify, and what you think is cool, y'all need to get it together, yo. That movie Chirac was right. If y'all really won't change, stop sleeping with these airheads. Stop building families with them. Stop responding to them. Move out of their areas and leave them there to kill each other, they who are like that. And all the good men, go with them. And leave all the serpents to kill and destroy each other. That movie Chirac was right. But when Chirac came out, they hated that movie. Why? Because it's accurate. And them gangsters hated that movie. Them little low-vibing men who be leaving y'all with their babies, they hated that movie because it told the truth. The H-E-double is you out here messing with these cats for, and you know what they about. And you are literally how humans get to the planet. Stop playing, yo. Y'all need to rise up. Y'all women need to rise up. Now, you men, guess what? I'm going to get on y'all so much. The women, women probably ain't going to be, I probably ain't going to say nothing else to the women again until Ruth. And then we're going to be talking about, again, what choices is you making? Bro, y'all be tripping. Hands down. And then look, I'm gonna tell you this too. For far as what America says do, because I'm gonna go ahead and take this thing to 125, 130. Go ahead and make it a good hour and a half, whatever. Far as what America says to look for a man or whatever like that, man, you know how many women that I've had tell me, you know how many women, look, point in case. You know how many women have gay I've really cared about. I'm a good man. And they have given me excuses as to why they get to talk about some, I'm gonna make a choice for what's gonna be. We make choices that are gonna the best thing is gonna give our kids for what we need, even subconsciously, or just whatever. Y'all know what y'all women know what I'm talking about when y'all be saying that. Oh, I'm making a choice on biological. It don't have anything to do with anything else. Bro, look, you know how many women, and again, I'm a good man, so this I gotta say this. You know how many women I've had say that to me, and then they turn around and they get with some airhead loser and have his children, and then the next thing you know, they be out here getting carved up by them little demonic kids. Oh, I thought you was choosing for biology, chick. What you talking about? Stop lying. Stop playing. You choosing for biology. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because you give every seed that comes into you a body. Stop playing. So they choosing for protection, but they choose a child that don't protect but beat them. That ain't no protective man. You don't even know what a man is for real. That's your problem. And what you think is a man, you give the nod to. Like I said, all the chicks under that King Von video. I went in on so many chicks under that video, and you should hear the excuses. And these are grown women, like in their late 20s, 30s, 40s. These women are grown. So like I said, I ain't gonna go too hard because women, bro, they don't like when you when you hold them accountable. Men don't like it either, but women hate it. That's why we just went over why. So I know that one was a little stinging. That was a nice little sermon right there. That's a sermon. It is what it is. Hey, I promise you, this is probably gonna be one of the most watched ones right here. This whole hour and 30, and the next one ain't even gonna be that long. Because we get into Cain, murder, and Abel, and then we got a lot more movement of them moving through certain things. So it's not as much to elaborate and break down. But this right here, I had to break it down the way it is because they even, and again, woman, look, it's not your fault. The fall ain't your fault. So don't let them do that to y'all. Oh, it's the woman's fault. No, it's not. No, it's not. Nope. It's both the man and the woman's fault in the beginning, but it ain't your fault here physically unless you are literally choosing every day to be on something ignorant and low vibing. And you know it. And as a woman, when you choose to be on something ignorant and low vibing, you destroy generations and communities. Period. Because as a man, if he chooses to be on something low vibing and all the other men is together and the women is together, then we gonna go get at that man. But if a woman chooses to be low vibing, the man is going to have to try to get her to stop. She's going to argue and combat him, period, on everything. She's going to teach that to the kids. So now if she has daughters, she just taught her daughters how to do the same thing. And if she got sons, she just taught her sons that's what you're going to have to do to get a woman to get you to understand. You're going to have to argue with her. You're going to have to be bickering back and forth. You're going to have to be fighting her. That's what you're teaching. So, no, it ain't only fully your fault, but I'm saying to some of y'all need to step y'all game up big because, again, there's more sacredness in you when it comes down to the responsibility for what you've been given biologically. There's more sacredness in you than it is the man. Even though the seed of life comes out of the man. And if that woman don't never get that seed, she will be barren. And he can go give that seed to 10 women and they gonna all have children. He ain't give it to her. And at the same token, a woman can take in multiple keys and spit out multiple different seeds too. But when you think about that, where's the organization and the structure in that? There is none. That's why you ladies, you're sacred. You cannot, women, y'all cannot be the ones who are out here low vibing. It don't work. And generally, generally when you find a woman who out here on that, she learned it from a man. She ain't learned it from no other woman unless that woman learned it from a man. You know how to be rude, disrespectful, ignorant. And ignorant means, again, like what I said, King Von's mama, Ja Morant's mama. All these grown men, all these little teenagers who grow into grown men be running around little hood rat men, and then they grow up into adults and end up acting like hood rat teenagers. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that's an hour and a half, y'all. I know it's, hey, man, you talk, it is what it is, bro. You know what's funny about where I come from? They want you to keep it real till you keep it real. Then all of a sudden they mad. Holla at your boy. Peace.